Okay. Okay. So awesome. And welcome to Flamingo's latest webinar. So if this is your first time joining, we definitely like to get social. So we'd love to know where everyone is dialing in from and what company you are with. So just post that in the chat at the bottom, and then we will get started. Okay, great. So for those of you that are not familiar with Flamingo, so Flamingo is a resident engagement and experience platform. So we help properties in a couple of different ways. One of those is with events. We have an event marketplace where you are able to instantly book resident events, similar to how you might order a pizza or how you might order an Uber. That's how easy it is to book events on the Flamingo platform. And then we also provide a few different things to help with your overall resident experience, including your very own resident app that residents can use for anything from event RSVPs to messaging their neighbors to accessing a digital version of your resident guide to even watching on-demand fitness classes. So we help in a whole lot of different ways. But our webinars are really all around how to drive engagement and then how to really make your property the best it can be. So on this webinar, what we are focusing on are some event ideas for spring. And it's a little bit different than typical because there is still some considerations that you have to think about. So everyone right now all your residents right now have lived through COVID as everyone else the last year. And it's been very, very stressful for everyone. And what's been nice that we've seen is that a lot of properties have done an amazing job with virtual events, an amazing job with really finding other ways to engage residents. But right now, what's really exciting is that there is an end in sight, but we're still not quite there yet. So the ideas that we are proposing for spring are really ideas focused around how to slowly reintroduce in-person events, having a mix of in-person and a mix of still like virtual. So really focused on uh, taking into consideration all the different things that your residents might be thinking about. So obviously COVID is still here, so that's definitely one thing to keep in mind. It hasn't gone away. And then the other thing to keep in mind is that your residents they all view COVID very differently. So some people are very laissez-faire about it. Other people are still very antsy and very scared about COVID. So as you think about events, that's definitely something to consider, that not everyone views the pandemic the same way. So you want to structure it so that you can appeal to all those different groups. And then definitely one thing to always consider is masks, even if you are in a city or a state where masks are not mandated. That's just what we recommend. And that's what, at the end of the day, is going to apply to most of your residents. And then other thing to also keep in mind is some people are vaccinated, some people are not vaccinated. So as you think about your event strategy, that's something else to consider. You might make in-person events only available to people that are vaccinated. You might kind of consider that. So there's a lot of issues that go along with that. So definitely something to discuss with your team and your corporate for how you want to move into in-person events. But there are a lot of considerations for you to think about. But all the events that we're proposing are really things that you can do that are still very social distancing safe, while still slowly bringing events back to your in-person events back to your residents. And as I go through this, definitely feel free to ask questions or comments or whatever it is. So in terms of events, so I always start with sip and paint events just because they are always like the most fun events, always get sold out. 99.9% of the time, when we see sip and paint events, they are always like sold out. So always a fun way. So how do you actually take this and kind of incorporate this into a reopening or into in-person events? So one idea is to keep it virtual. Other idea is to actually do it outdoors or somewhere with a lot of space. So this event always fun and definitely a nice one to do as part of your reopening of in-person events. because for an event like this, it doesn't involve food, it doesn't involve a lot of touching, and then people are still able to spread out fairly well. So this is always a crowd favorite, always sells out, and then it's one of those nice events that you can slowly do to reintroduce in-person events. So you can never go wrong with this one. Another one that we've seen to be really popular the last few months has been candle making events. So what's nice about this one, similar to the sip and paint event, is that this event can be done both virtual or it can be done in person and outdoor. So really fun event. You get all the materials that are needed, and then a professional kind of leads the event. So another fun event. And the reason why I really like this one as well, and similar to the sip and paint event, is that even if you do it as a virtual event, it's nice because it's something residents still have something physical that they can take away. So with an event like this, residents have the materials, whether it's the art or whether it's the candle making. So then with something like this, even if it's virtual, it is still something physical that they use and they can take away from. Because right now, a lot of people are just like sick of Zoom. So an event like this still has some physical in-person element. And then question from Patricia Gaines, can one event be a combo virtual and outdoor? So definitely something you can do. It just depends on how you view the logistics. So if you do a combo event where some people are virtual and some people are in-person outdoor, it can get really complicated just because you need to manage both. So you need to have the equipment for outdoor and then equipment for like virtual. But we've seen it happen. We did an event actually last month. It was a hybrid Valentine's Day event where some residents were in person, other residents were on Zoom, and then the provider was doing the virtual wine tasting virtually. So lots of different ways that you can do that. And then this one is always also a crowd favorite. So for those of you, since it's spring, things are warming up, so you can do a lot of these like outdoors. One that's always a crowd favorite, outdoor movie events. So with this one, the equipment you need is very minimal. You need a projector, you need a wall, and you need an outdoor space. And then residents can bring everything that they need: not a couch, a chair, picnic blanket, or whatever it is. So allows you to really still apply social distancing. People still wear masks, and then it's really a really fun event. And this is one of those events where you can do on a monthly basis. So you can just have like every first Friday or every last Friday or whatever it is, and that could be an outdoor movie. So you can do that all summer, and it's a nice thing to start right now, get that tradition in, and then slowly incorporate additional things that you want to add. And then what I also like about an outdoor movie events is that it's one of those events where you can get a lot of engagement. So you can have residents like vote on the exact movie that they want to see, and that gets them involved right from the beginning. And then another thing that I like about this event is that it's a really family-friendly event. So it kind of covers the basis for an event, but also covers the basis that it's an event that your whole community can participate in, not just the adults, but people that have kids can also be part of the event. So definitely one that I definitely recommend just because it's such a fun event. And then it's really, really simple to put together. And then it's also one that's like I'll call it like very Instagrammable because it's something that residents will always like take pictures of and post. And then one thing that I like, another way if you do an event like this, another fun way is you could have residents like post pictures of their favorite like Halloween. And I'll kind of talk about how one of our clients did it. But another fun event where you could even have residents like dress up as characters from the movie. So just like a little bit of fun ways to go beyond just the basic part of the event. And then question from Patty. So yeah, if you were to, she asked, do you provide a projector and screen? So this is an event that's found on the Flamingo event marketplace. So if you did book this event through Flamingo, we do provide all of what's needed. So we provide a projector, the screen, and the on-site attendant as well too. And then going on to continuing the outdoor one. So this one is always fun. So an outdoor or rooftop fitness classes. So that's something you can start right away. So we have seen a lot of success with some of our West Coast clients who have been doing like outdoor classes the last few months. So for those of you that don't know, like on the West Coast, it's been very, very strict with COVID. So a lot of them have had challenges with resident engagement. So outdoor classes have been very, very popular. We have classes that have like 20 people on the wait list. So definitely one where residents are really excited and gunning to go. So would definitely recommend outdoor or rooftop classes or classes by the pool. And then Denise asked about the outdoor movie for the screens. For Flamingo, we have different screen sizes, everything from like a 16-inch screen up to a 32 feet screen up to like a 40-foot screen, not inches. So pretty large screens. So it depends on the size of your community, of the size of the space that you have. And then another one that's been very popular and also a very much of a spring event that I recommend that you all think about, flower arrangement classes. So this one really, really fun and one that's like been very popular and also just fits right in with spring. And this is one that you can do outdoors and also one of those events where people are able to take something away. So recommend an event like this, maybe around Easter, maybe like in the middle of the spring season, once the flowers are really coming. So a really nice event. And the big reason why I love this one is because it's super, super Instagrammable. So this is an event that you can tie in with like an Instagram contest. So ask residents to post their flower arrangements on Instagram and tag the building. And whoever gets the most number of likes wins XYZ prize. So this not only a nice event that's outdoor, connected to the season, but it's also one where you can get a lot of social media action. So definitely recommend this one. And then question from Adair. So what about speakers and sound? So if you were to book the outdoor movie through Flamingo, we do also provide all of that. So all of that's included. So in general, events through Flamingo have all the things that you need for the event, even marketing materials as well too. But yeah, so for the flower arrangement class, very popular, would highly, highly recommend it. It just fits right in with the season. And for this one, as I mentioned again, if you do an event like this, always tie it into some type of social media action. So that should help you there. And then another event, sorry about the misspelling. Another event on here is an outdoor comedy. So comedy events are always really popular. We did a lot of comedy events the last few months, all of them virtual and really high participation. What I like about this is you can now take that from the virtual side to the outdoor side. So a nice event, people are able to stay socially distant and then able to get a laugh in because right now everyone could use a laugh. So definitely recommend comedy events. And then Dear asked another question about the flower arrangements. So do you work with local florists depending on city where event is taking place? Yeah, so if you were booking an event through Flamingo, it's always like for in-person events, it's always like local host. But for virtual events, our event staff is just like everywhere. Okay, great. And then other event that we've seen to be really popular is also calligraphy classes. And so question from Denise Simpson. The comedians PG. Yeah, so that event is definitely like family friendly. You can have different types of comedy. So you can have comedy that's more tailored to adults. You could also have one that's like specific to kids. So you can do a lot of different things with comedy. And that's what all of these events are. So for every event, you can kind of tailor events to your specific demographic. So if you have a lot of families, you might want to tailor it more to families. If you are student housing, you want to tailor those events specific to your demographic. And that's all things we can also help with if you were doing the event through Flamingo. And then in terms of calligraphy, so a really fun event because a lot of people took like handwriting classes in middle school, college, or while they were growing up, but a lot of people kind of left that. So calligraphy classes are really fun because again, it's like a skill-based class. So it's something where residents like have something to take away from. So not only are they learning a new skill, but they also have a takeaway. So the calligraphy could be having residents like do note cards, thank you cards, or other things that they can use. So that could be part of their birthday cards they send out to friends or other things. So I always like these types of events because it's skill based and then there's like a takeaway to it. And that's what I always recommend for events is make sure that it's something that a resident typically wouldn't do themselves. So for an event like this, it's not something that the average person seeks out. So it's very unique and different than what they would do otherwise. And that's how you boost engagement, and that's also how you boost attendance as well too. And then something like this, you can also connect to the social media element. So residents can add on Instagram the cards that they created or what they drew. So another fun way to get the maximum amount ROI out of the events that you put together. So one again that I would highly recommend for all those different reasons. And then another fun event that you could do as people kind of come back out of the apartments is a community-wide fitness challenge. So you can do this a couple of ways. One, it could be very individualized where residents simply track their activities, and then that could all be tracked on a community board or something else. The other way to do an event like this, it could be people train for a 5K together. It could simply be you create a community-wide goal. So you could say, we want to reach 1 million steps. And then every resident contributes to that. So there's a tally board or something else where residents add the number of steps that they took every day. And then there's if the whole building meets the goal, then you can offer like some type of prize, like a fun community prize. So just like a fun way to, again, kind of make residents feel like they are in all of this together. And then it also allows them to also earn a prize. It gives you a lot of ways to also get some social media action. So we did a couple of fitness challenges the last few months, everything from a mind body challenge to a body and brain challenge to simply a workout challenge. So another fun way to really drive engagement in a lot of different ways. And for something like this, it's one where you could also make it again family friendly and includes everyone. So I'll definitely recommend something like this. And then one thing to note as well that we've seen a lot of our clients have success with is if you have like fitness on demand or some type of on demand system, you could also set up challenges through that as well too. So you always want to get residents like excited, and getting them involved is just like one easy way of doing that. And then another fun event to think about as things are getting warmer is something like an outdoor yoga and brunch to go event. So a fun event as people are now coming back out, people are getting more social. So you can do a rooftop yoga event. You can bring in a DJ. You can either have brunch that people eat there, or you can have brunch that people take to go. So a really fun event, which again is very COVID friendly because we're still not completely out of the woods, but it does add a lot of layers of comfort. So it's outdoor, it's pretty spread out, and then this is also a really fun event that really brings back all the things that your residents might have been used to from before. And then question from Amy, comedians with PG, if you talk to them in advance, most know how to read the audience. Yep, exactly. So if you have a comedian that's performing, they always know how to read the audience, and you could always set the direction. You could say, these are the safe topics to talk about. These are these are the taboo topics not to talk about. So you can always set the direction. And then a question from Kim Solano. For the fitness challenge, can these be tracked through the Flamingo app? Yeah, so we do have a Flamingo app. So we provide part of what Flamingo offers are resident apps. within the app, we have different ways you can engage residents. So one of those is we do have on-demand fitness through the app, and the app also comes with different fitness challenges. So let me actually show you all some of the ways that some of our clients are using the app to engage their residents. So here are some examples of the apps that we offer. So within the apps, residents are able to access different on-demand fitness classes, and then they are also able to participate in different monthly challenges. So they can participate in a 21-day challenge where they have to do 21 fitness classes. They can do a 1,000-minute challenge. They can do a variety challenge, and then they can also earn milestones. So what's nice about this is when residents work out, they are able to show off to their neighbors the workouts that they have completed. So they can let their neighbors say, no, I just completed a workout, or they can join challenges and then let their neighbors know they have completed different challenges or they have joined different workouts, and their neighbors can give them kudos. So definitely recommend fitness challenges just because it's really simple to do. You can offer prizes, and then it's also something that gets a lot of residents like excited. And then in terms of the brunch event, one that I definitely recommend, just because for the last year or so, very few buildings have done any types of events. And then making it like a DJ and yoga brunch event is really nice because it adds the extra element of a food event. Because right now, most of the events that have been done with food have been like a breakfast grab and go or something else. So this just adds another layer of engagement to the typical breakfast grab and go. And then this is also, again, a very simple event to do. You could simply do this event, just hire like a local fitness instructor, get brunch delivered from your favorite restaurant, or even the site team could make the brunch as well to kind of like get food from your site team. It could even just be bagels. And then a DJ, pretty easy to find as well too. So a really easy and fun event to do. That should add a lot. And then I just always repeat these, but these are just like some regular event best practices when you do events. So you shouldn't think of events as just a way to entertain residents. There is a preset ROI you want to get from events. So ownership is spending money on events because they want to get ROI out of it. So in order to do that, there are always like things to do when you do events. So one of the things we always recommend is marketing. So the example I really always give is that the Coca-Cola has been around for almost 100 years now, but Coke still spends billions every year on marketing, even though everyone knows what Coke is. So for events, we always recommend do more marketing that you think you need to do. So just over market events on a constant basis, and you'll see your event attendance and engagement go up. And then social media. So always incorporate social media in some form. You want residents to show off the events that they have done or they have attended. So easy way to do that, ask residents to take pictures during events and then reward them for posting those pictures or for tagging the building. So really get the maximum ROI out of your events. And then obviously make it easy for people to RSVP for events. So if you have events, get a resident app, do something else, make it really, really simple. And this is especially important for if you start doing in-person events, you want to make sure that you don't, for an event that can accommodate 10 people, you don't get like 300 people show up. So an RSVP system, easy way to manage that. And then definitely try to get event pictures and add that to your social media pages. And that's also a way to create FOMO because if residents see that their neighbors are attending events and posting pictures about it, that gets them more excited to also attend. So those would be some basic event best practices. And then the last one is really on the social media ROI. So one thing I always recommend is make sure that you get the maximum benefit out of events. So a big one is to focus on getting reviews after you do events. So one way we help with that is if you use a resident app to manage your events, and after events, some people are able to leave reviews about the event. So let's say you did a sip and paint event. After the event, residents get a pop-up asking them to rate the event, how much you like the event. And then you can then ask them to share their experience on social media. So after every event, you want to make sure that you get the residents that attended to leave reviews about the event. So that's a really nice way for you to boost your social media presence because you've done all the hard work, you've spent a lot of money on events, so you want to make sure that you get the maximum benefit out of the events. And reviews are always one of the biggest benefits you can get out of your events. So that's really it. So someone asked about sharing the presentation. So yep, we'll email this presentation to everyone that attended. So I'll give it about 30 more seconds. So if anyone has questions, definitely feel free to ask. But otherwise, thank you all for attending our latest webinar. I hope this was helpful. And really, always keep in mind that events are always really difficult to do. And as you do them, you still want to make sure that you are getting the benefit out of it. And that's just following those like basic event best practices. So thank you all for attending. I hope you have an awesome rest of your Friday. We ended right just on time, which is what I always love. Thank you guys. Bye.